Hello, hello. Welcome to Tea with the Druid. My name is Philip Cargom. This is Tea with the Druid 341. And Tea with the Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. Lovely to see people arriving from Shropshire, Stroud, Stirlingshire, Denmark, Arizona, Dallas. Where else? Sherwood Forest, Northern California, Lapland and Finland, New York, Bristol, London, Phoenix, France, Bromley, Switzerland, Leicestershire, Slough, and so on. Lovely to see you. Welcome. So as everyone comes into the circle and gathers around the fire, take some time to find a nice comfortable log to sit on and draw closer to the fire. Just start to enter into the ambience of this sacred grove, of this special place, this special time that we have all created here over the years. And let's take some time just to go inside and just to check in. Because we're so distracted by the outside world, we often don't even know how we're feeling. So it's good to sometimes just stop, close our eyes or soften our gaze, go inside and just get a feeling. And just in doing that simple action, sometimes there's a kind of release, a relief, as we get a sense of how we're feeling. And then breath in, breath out, and just come out and maybe type down how you're feeling. It's good to share that. Always understanding that it can change at any moment. Warm. Kieran Susie Avalon is feeling warm. That's lovely. More people are arriving from Birmingham and Nova Scotia. Sore, sleepy, raw, buzzing, hopeful, grateful, weary, calm, settled, snoozy, queasy, content in the moment, tired and happy, calm, hyper, accomplished, soft and thankful, tired, energized, relaxed, overwhelming, fading but content and tired. So worried for the people of LA. Yes, of course. Hello from France. Quiet, tired and energetic at once. Sorry, it's going really fast now. Anxious, overstimulated, thankful and giddy, tired and achy. Relaxed. Head feels very busy. Upset, grateful, frazzled around the edges. I'm okay, compassionate, anxious. Gosh, what an array of emotions. And somebody who's lost their dad, I saw just up there, over-caffeinated, full, glad, grateful. Yeah. So however we're feeling, we can just honor that and accept that. And just accept all our colleagues in the circle with their different feelings. Some of them are feeling exactly the same as us. Some of them are feeling different. And we all send our love and our thoughts and our concern to the people of Los Angeles, all these terrible fires that are raging. But also elsewhere too, to Sudan, where there's the most awful warfare and genocide going on, to, of course, to Ukraine, to Gaza, and to all sorts of places around the world where people are suffering and in difficulty. So I know we have a lot of members in the States, a lot of members of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, and who are naturally very concerned about what's happening on the West Coast, where everyone is feeling for you. So I thought this evening, it would be good to talk about Druid meditation. Those of you who come to Tea with a Druid often are familiar with the particular style of meditation that we use. And this is a particularly, if you like, Druidic meditation, in the sense that we meet in a sacred grove. And there are particular things we do in this meditation that you could style or term as Druidic, contemporary Druid approach. And I thought it would be helpful just to take a little look at what we do. And hopefully it's so kind of relaxing and seamless that, you may not necessarily have analyzed what's actually going on. But I thought it's kind of quite interesting to do that. And particularly for people who are new to Tea with a Druid and this way of meditation, or for those of you indeed who've been doing it for some time, getting an understanding of what's going on. And this is, of course, from my perspective. You may have a different perspective, and be very interesting to hear what you think. So, like many things, the structure is very simple: a beginning, a middle, and an end. And just as in a Druid ritual, we have an opening and then a closing. And then there's a middle section in which we might celebrate a particular moment, such as an equinox or solstice, or we might have a rite of passage, or we might have an Eisteddfod, a festival of the arts, or we may have a meditation within that. So in the same way, this way of meditating, this Druid meditation, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And right from the beginning, we locate ourselves in this place that we know from the historical record was a place beloved of the Druids in ancient times. And it is still beloved of Druids and of many other folk too today. And that is a clearing in the forest. And the interesting thing about clearings in the forest is that although they can be man-made, they also occur naturally in the process of forestation. It's as if nature knows when it needs spaces to breathe. And so clearings naturally occur in forests to let the light and air in and for different species to grow. And of course, straight away, you have a very profound idea here, which is that it is no thing. In other words, it's a space. It's a space, a clearing in the forest. So there's both a sense of fullness, all the richness that the idea of the forest evokes, the richness of species, of wonderful trees, of the animals in the forest, of all the kind of ecological processes that are occurring that are so supportive of life. Not only is it very rich and full, but it also has its opposite, which is emptiness, the open space in the middle. In the meditation, we come into the sacred clearing, or we sense ourselves already seated there. So that if it helps to visualize going into a space, you can do that. If that's distracting, you don't have to, because it can just appear around you. And there you are in the sacred space. And often I will mention that there's a little fire burning in the center. And of course, this concept of a fire in the center, it's like the sun. It's symbolic of the source of life and of energy and of warmth radiating out. So already we're getting a sense of how it's like a solar system, if you like, where the planets seated around the sun, circling around the sun. And then you're invited to open to the energy of the earth. And it begins with the earth. So straight away, there's a sense of connecting to the element of earth, of the body, of grounding. One of the kind of core features of Druidry is it's not airy-fairy, woo-woo, up in the air. It's very grounding. We love the earth, we love Mother Earth, and we connect with the earth, and we might sense ourselves within the earth too. Starting to let go of our ego identifications of being a contained individual personality, but opening to the energy of the earth beneath us. And then bringing in a sense of water, that second element, that wonderful element revered by the Celts of old and by so many of us today as this source of life, this water that's in the soil that the trees are drawing on and that we can connect with. Earth and water. And then we also connect with the idea of interconnection, with the mycelium, the fact that all of life is connected, this fundamental truth and understanding of life. So setting that at the start of our meditation. And we're not alone. The fact that we've come into the circle and that there are others around us affirms the fact that we are not alone. Even if we're doing this meditation, and we can, of course, do this meditation on our own. And then it's up to us whether we evoke a sense of other human beings, or perhaps the ancestors, or perhaps animals, animal spirits, or plants, whatever it is. There's this sense of being a part of the community of life right from the beginning. And then our awareness moves to that sense of the trees, the rooted deep in the earth. And there's this wonderful way the human mind works with sympathy and empathy. And so if we sense the trees being rooted firmly in the earth around us, that helps us to feel rooted as well. And then we move our awareness up to the horizontal, if you like. We've been working with the vertical, descending down in our awareness. Now we're moving to the horizontal, and we sense the trees around us. We sense their protection, their power, and we sense them as living beings. From a magical perspective, we're casting a circle around us, but we don't need to, because the trees do that for us. They've already done it. That is the circle of protection. And we sense the trees as living beings, again anchoring us in this core concept of Druidry, which is the centrality of trees, the fact that trees are our brothers and sisters and can even be our teachers and elders too. So we affirm this, we connect in our consciousness to these other beings. So we move from the earth to the trees, and then we connect with the vertical again as we move our attention up to the branches and boughs and sense the leaves or the needles of the trees up above us and around us, and then connecting with the sky. And we might connect with the blue sky, with the sun, with the moon, with the stars. And we open to the element of earth. So we've had water and earth on the ground. We have the fire in the center. Now the fourth element, air, as we breathe in the energy of the sky. And the energy of the sky flows into us. We imagine this energy. And it feels so differently. I'm sure you've noticed that, from the kind of earthy kind of energy that comes into you, this grounding energy that comes into you at the beginning of the meditation. And then as we move on and you breathe in the energy of the sky, it's got a different quality. It's vitalizing and energizing. And it flows in, and that sky energy meets the energy of the earth within the center of our being. And that's the opening of the meditation. That's the beginning of the meditation. Now, here's an important piece of information, I think, which is at this point, you can, if, for instance, you're doing this meditation on your own, you can switch into the silence. Once you sense the earth energy meeting the sky energy within the center of your being, you can drop into a different level of consciousness. Probably already you're in a different state of consciousness from when you began the meditation. And particularly if you're used to it, or it just comes naturally to you, you can open out into the silence. The silence of the forest, the silence of your own being, the silence of non-being, of presence. letting go, opening up. And so if the formless calls to you, if doing a meditation that involves visualization and sensing stuff outside of you somehow doesn't quite suit you, very early on, you can let go of that preliminary induction, as you might call it, and just drop in to the style of formless meditation that you might perhaps have become used to from other methods of meditation. Just perhaps focusing on your breath, or perhaps, as in Zazen, doing the just sitting, just being, entering the formless for as long as you wish, just connecting with the source, if you like. And then at a certain point, you come to the end, the closing piece. But there are many other things you can do in the middle as well. And mostly in these Tea with the Druid meditations, we do something in the middle. And the reason for that is these meditations are brief. They are they reach all sorts of people, and many people find it hard just to enter into the silence and to stay there. And so what we do is a whole range of different things. And just as in a ceremony, you might do, a rite of passage or an Eisteddfod or a healing or whatever. So in the same way, all sorts of things can be done in this central section. Today, when we go into the meditation in a minute, I'm going to suggest that we tune in to the full moon, because it's a beautiful full moon now today. And let's open up to the power of the moon and moon bathe a little bit in our sacred grove, and just allow that sweet, special energy of the moon just to flow through us. So we'll moon bathe, and I'll read you a poem. Reading poetry or reciting poetry, listening to poetry in a meditative state is an aspect of Druidry and of the bardic tradition in particular, which is why often I'll read a poem in these meditations. And next week you have a real treat happening, which is a pre-recorded tea, an interview I did with the wonderful poet Rosemary Watola Troma, whose poetry you've heard before. And Rosemary has written a poem. She writes a poem every day. She has this wonderful discipline of writing a poem every day. The day after our interview, she sent me a poem. She said she'd written it the next day. And I'm going to read it for you now, because it pertains to exactly this topic of reading poetry in the central section. And I'll read it again in our meditation. In the sacred grove. Sometimes entering the sacred grove is as easy as closing the eyes while you sit in a chair at home and let someone lead you there. Their voice a path you follow to a ring of trees with roots entwined. A sunbright meadow in the middle, a group of other willing hearts who form a circle with you. How did it ever feel far away when the sacred grove is as close as breath, close as imagination, real as an openness to wonder? I was there just this morning, my hands flat on the earth, sky reaching in through my crown. I was there, even as I sat in my office chair, I was there. My hands held the hands of strangers beside me. Alone in my room, I was there. And after knowing the sacred grove breath close, all day I find it everywhere. In the Sacred Grove by Rosemary Watola Troma. I'll read it again in our meditation. But so there's poetry, there's silence. And the important thing about recognizing that we can engage in the silence and in formless meditation is that this way of meditation can be complete in as much as there are basically, psychologists talk about two kinds of meditation, what's called open monitoring or focused attention. So very, very simply put, you can go through meditation, because we use meditation as a word as if it points to one thing, but it doesn't. There are lots of ways of meditation that are very, very different. Lots of techniques. It's exactly like the word exercise. If I said to you, you ought to exercise every day, your next question should be, I think, well, what sort of exercise? You mean swimming, running, how much, how long, etc. And you say, well, there's lots of different ways you can exercise, and they have different effects. And some people, this kind of exercise works for them and it's good for them. For others, it is. Same thing with meditation, exactly the same. Everybody's looking for some kind of one-stop solution, but I don't think it's as simple as that. Different meditations work, styles of meditation work for you at different times in your life, and you will need, different people will need different things. But basically, there are two kinds: focused attention, where you focus on a mantra, focus on a seed thought, focus on a yantra, an image, and so on. Focus on a guided meditation. Focused attention. Focus on your breath. The other kind of meditation is called open monitoring. This is where you just drop into awareness, allowing thoughts to drift by, but not getting attached to them. Just being open and noticing without judgment, not judging your thoughts, not judging your feelings, noticing sensations, noticing feelings, noticing thoughts, noticing the feeling of air on your skin, noticing sounds you might hear, not attached to any of them, just open monitoring. You're sort of monitoring, you're just dropping in that way. So in this form of meditation, we do both. At the beginning, it's focused attention, because that's a very good way to change the direction of the mind from the busy monkey mind to calming it down. Focused attention, imagining the grove and so on. But then you drop in to the central section, where it might be you enter an open monitoring phase, and then a poem might be read or whatever. Then you come to the closing, the end section. And that's where there's another bit of magic that happens, where you connect with those around you. And I suggest that you hold the hands of somebody in the circle, connect with them. And then we connect with the earth, and we send our love and our healing to the earth. We imagine the positive energy generated of community and love and connection gently radiating out from the circle. And that allows us to move beyond ourselves. We all know now, I think, that the movement, that the spiritual zeitgeist, if you like, is urging us to move from me to we, beyond us. It's not the spiritual journey now is no longer just about seeking our own salvation, seeking our own illumination just for ourselves. It involves the collective. It involves all of us, the community of life. And so we say prayers or blessings for the land and for life, and then we let go of the hands and we move our hands towards our hearts. And this is a way of not only affirming a kind of heart-centered approach to life, but it's also a good way of ending the meditation, because we can feel often the warmth of our hands, if we do it physically, the warmth of our hands, and we become more aware of our bodies, which allows us to transition back into an awareness of being an embodied being. So there you have some thoughts about this particular form of meditation. And let's do that meditation now. I'm going to, the advantage of it as well is that it's very elastic. I'm going to do a short one because I see that I've been talking for 26 minutes, so that's long enough. So I'm going to make this a short meditation, and I hope you find it helpful. As always, feel free to either just listen to this, to go with it, or just to wait at for another time to do it. But if you'd like to try this meditation, you might like to lower your gaze, soften your gaze, or close your eyes to better concentrate on yourself. And take in a slow, deep breath. Hold. And then breathe out fully and deeply. One more time. Just letting go. Just sensing yourself being seated in front of your screen, the four walls around you, floor below you, ceiling above you. And then just allowing that awareness to gently change as they just dissolve and you become aware of being in the sacred grove. You might already be seated there, or you might wish to find somewhere to sit. A small fire burning in the center. You sense colleagues and others just gathering around in the circle, seated around in the circle. Trees around us, sky above us, and the earth beneath us. And you become aware of the earth now. You become aware of the energy of the earth, all the life in the earth, all those creatures, all the life and vitality. And you sense how part of your energy field is, of course, within the earth, and you feel your energy field being enriched by the earth. And you just allow the feeling of gravity just to help you connect. Gravity helps you connect to the earth, so the earth can settle and calm you and energize and heal you. And you sense the mycelial connections, all the roots tangled and connected with each other, all supporting each other on the forest floor. And you sense the roots of the trees now anchored deep within the earth. You become aware of these trees sucking in the moisture in the earth, and that water being drawn up the roots of the trees, and you become aware of the trunks now. You become aware of the trees around you in the circle, your brothers and sisters, these beloved trees. You sense the trees as spirits of protection. And you sense the energy and strength in these trunks rising up, and you become aware now of the boughs and branches, the leaves and needles of the trees above you. And in the sky, with the moon shining down, the full moon and the stars shining down on the sacred grove, and you breathe in the energy of the sky. And the energy of the sky flows into you, energizing you. The energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. Sensing yourself seated in the circle now. The fire burning in the center. A group of fellow travelers seated around you in the circle. The tall trees. A bard steps forward to read a poem. In the sacred grove. Sometimes entering the sacred grove is as easy as closing the eyes while you sit in a chair at home and let someone lead you there. Their voice a path you follow to a ring of trees with roots entwined. A sunbright or moonbright meadow in the middle, a group of other willing hearts who form a circle with you. How did it ever feel far away when the sacred grove is as close as breath, close as imagination, real as an openness to wonder? I was there just this morning, my hands flat on the earth, sky reaching in through my crown. I was there even as I sat in my office chair. I was there. My hands held the hands of strangers beside me. Alone in my room, I was there. And after knowing the sacred grove, breath close, all day, I find it everywhere. And you sense the sacred grove now. And you sense your hands just floating gently up and taking the hand of the person to the left and right of you. And as you sit in the sacred grove, you feel unique, yourself, grounded in the earth, bathed in moonlight. And you realize that you're seated in a circle, just like the circle of the moon, and you feel all of us are just bathing in moonlight together, our faces upturned to the moon. And we allow the moonlight and the calm, soothing peace of this moonlight to flow through us all out into the world. May the earth be blessed with the peace of the moon, the peace of the stars. May all life be blessed. May the earth be blessed. And we feel the moonlight on the earth around us now, and we feel the connection between the moon and the earth, the way the moon energy is flowing into the earth, the way the earth is receiving it. A blessing on this earth, a blessing on the land. And we squeeze the hand to either side of us and let our hands drift down, placing the palms of our hands on the earth. A blessing on the land, a blessing on our lives, a blessing on all life. You sense your hands drifting up now to your heart. And you might like to move your physical hands up to your heart. May my life be blessed. May all life be blessed. And you feel the warmth in your heart gradually spreading through your body. A warm glow through the whole of your body. And as your awareness of your body grows stronger, so your awareness of the sacred grove begins to fade as you become fully present here and now. The walls around you, the ceiling above you, the floor beneath you. And when you feel ready, and only when you feel ready, you open your eyes. I've posted the name of the poet. For those of you who arrived late, I read the poem early and gave the name of the poet. And this is her website as well, wordwoman.com. And next Monday, you will be able to hear her reciting some of her poetry and her interview with me. So many, many blessings to you. Thank you so much for being here. And I very much look forward to seeing. I'll see you in a fortnight, but I'll see you sort of virtually, as it were, on next Monday. In the meanwhile, much love, many blessings.